And finally, the National Park Service is asking for your opinions about a plan that would allow the Cherokee to harvest a plant in the Smokies.
10 News reporter Jim Matheny explains why the change could be meaningful to Native American culture.
The National Park Service spells it out in the Smokies. Picking plants prohibited.
I mean, that's our land. That was ours.
Just outside the park in Cherokee, North Carolina, that no plant picking policy forced Jarrett Wildcat to travel long distances just to learn a family tradition of searching for a plant called sochan.
Well, sochan, I would consider it like a native delicacy. Mostly you're going to find it next to a river. At least that's where I found it, me and my grandma.
Sochan blooms big, bright flowers in late summer and fall. But the Cherokee are more interested in the tender young greens that sprout in the springtime.
For its raw flavor, maybe compare it to spinach, kale kind of.
Now a change in national park policy allows tribes to enter agreements for culturally important harvesting. And there's a proposal for sochan in the Smokies.
The agreement would allow enrolled members of the Eastern Band of Cherokee Indians to gather parts of the sochan plant. So they'd be gathering just the leafy green parts.
The proposal comes with plenty of limitations. Only 36 people in the tribe would get permits to pick sochan in specific areas of the park. They can only gather from March through May and only gather a bushel a week. Jared Wildcat says anyone concerned about sustainability should know that's already ingrained in Cherokee heritage.
This is what I was taught. You don't take more than you need. To leave a little bit, that's for the next generation.
And if the plan is approved, his family could return to the same land as ancestors foraged for sochan and preserve a culinary culture that goes back thousands of years.
So if we can harvest it, that means it's going to be here for many generations. That'd be great.
In the Great Smoky Mountains, Jim Matheny, WBIR 10 News.
Now, the public comment period for sochan runs through December 13th, and we have that link at WBIR.com.
Before we leave you tonight, a